Venus in Aries. The biggest thing that I suggest a Venus in Aries masters is the art of the eyebrow. That's because Aries rules over the face and specifically over the eyes, and the eyebrows are the aesthetic that shape the eyes. So, of course, this is cliche for everyone to do, but in a lot of ways, it's your blueprint. The Aries aspect of beauty and fashion in general is concerning the eyes. So Aries is a piercing seer, and Venus in Aries has almost a love at first sight effect. This can actually happen with you onto somebody else, but really, as Venus is the attraction, it's other people onto you. People can fall in love with you almost immediately. And while that might seem like a bunch of fluff, especially talking to a Venus in Aries, a lot of it has to do with your own confidence. So a lot of this will be about what is it that physically gives a Venus in Aries more confidence. The message of Venus in Aries is to operate boldly, and Venus in Aries is a pioneer in beauty. The ones who do it and they do it well, they create new waves of beauty looks. Literally, people may want to look exactly like that person. And they can create a new trend of what is considered pretty privilege as well. Because Aries is a pioneer, she breaks new grounds and leads others into this realm. So this conversation with Venus is very superficial, and we honor that with Venus. Venus is the materials that the feminine needs. So this journey that you're on is embracing these aspects of yourself, okay? When it comes to the color palette of a Venus in Aries, it's basically your best color of red. Now, Venus in Aries clearly will go and have the freedom to try out all different colors, but red brings out the seduction within her. This is the love at first sight effect. And there's something about red with a Venus in Aries. Almost every Venus in Aries has an undertone that when matched with a red, it elevates them in ways that they never could imagine. And even if you may seem to be like, it's just a red outfit, right? To other people, they will feel the vibrations of your boldness and the message of a Venus in Aries. The thing that you have to understand about Venus in Aries is that it's not a comfortable place for Venus to be in. And quite often, people who have Venus in Aries, they either take the boldness and they run with it, or they actually shy away from it. Because being this gorgeous is actually kind of uncomfortable for Venus in Aries. There's a level where Aries being like a more sporty sign, one might try to downplay their beauty. They might try to be more seen for their ideas and for their leadership and things like that. But the world operates very superficially. And while you absolutely have the substance, they want the art. They want the art. And it's hard for some Venus and Aries to really embrace that. But when they do, they are basically the showstoppers. They have an arena of piercing people with their beauty that is almost unmatched with the rest of the zodiac. So even though Venus is in an uncomfortable place, just like she is in Scorpio, it becomes one of the dominating beauties when you embrace this journey. One of the biggest things about Venus in Aries and Scorpio, because Scorpio is Mars ruled first and then Pluto ruled, so they both share this, is to have a muscular and well-fit body. Now, of course, this would be something that is universal, but with a Venus in Aries, it almost can cripple you to not be at working on your best body. You want to create a fitness regimen that's not brutal, but really is just a part of your connection to your body. And the more that you do that, the more that you actually want to dress up. That also is a big thing for here. Let's dive more into the color palette, which is bright reds, deep and rustic oranges, yellows like mustard yellow, and the most exotic colors that are available for you to find. The hairstyle really works best angular because Aries is Mars energy. Mars is the cutter, right? It has the sharp swords energy. It's the surgeon, Mars. So the hair actually looks the best on a Venus in Aries when it is as bone straight as possible, and that it's not like curled under effect like you'll get. I mean, like you can absolutely do that, right? But when we're talking about a blueprint, you want to know your blueprint and then you can venture off of it. So to know that as a Venus in Aries, you look best with sharper haircuts could really help you to understand when you're going off of it, what rules you're breaking. And it doesn't mean you're going to look ugly if you curl your hair under, but it's just about knowing like when you're really putting your best effort and foot forward. So this is something to consider for people who are born with more naturally curly hair. Like, yeah, because of the Cosmo position, because it's Venus, we're talking about superficiality. We are looking at manipulating the hair to be straight at certain times, or to at least get the straight effect versus the curly poofy effect. Granted, you can always do the curly poofy effect, but you need to know that the blueprint is straight so that you know when you're going off the blueprint. So there's something about Venus and Aries being in this jet black hair with straight edges and angular cuts that really just make the look undeniably beautiful. A lot of the wardrobe for Venus and Aries can be sporty, but also can have that flash of femininity. And a lot of celebrities, they play it off so well because, they have teams of people to do this. So playing around with leggings and things that you would wear to the gym matched with some, cute boots and maybe like really vibrant color boots, things like that, helps to evoke the sportiness of Aries, but the femininity of Venus. And really like the thing that really strays off of the Venus and Aries blueprint is to do like really pastel colors. It just doesn't serve the highest beauty. Now, say for example, because there's certain Venus placements that have pastel in their blueprint. For example, Libra. Okay, so we're in Libra season. Let's say we're in Libra season and you start flocking towards more Libran things, more dainty like things, less sporty things. That's absolutely okay, but maybe you want to match it with the Venus and Aries haircut blueprint, right? You want to try to integrate so that you can play around with other ideas, but also play around with your blueprint. And it's just a guide to help you get to all of these different creative aspects that you can choose from. In fact, I call your entire reading, everyone's reading, the Venus closet, because you can pick and pull out of all these concepts that I'm providing for you. And you'll also have the ebook, which actually breaks down Venus in all of the signs, and you can experiment in all the signs, maybe based off of season, based off of Venus's transit, but just knowing your Aries rules will really be important for your journey. So Venus in Aries has a go-get-it personality, and so the vibrant, like, plainness of the color palette actually works in its favor. And while it may seem like, dang, like I don't have as many color options to choose from, it actually just helps to really, sometimes the essential is the most important thing. And we learn that here with Aries because it's the first of the zodiac. There's not so many layers happening. And that was the other thing that I wanted to mention, is that with Aries, nakedness is a huge thing. So Venus and Aries types, they tend to dress less. I find that it's not like as provocative, like because Aries is so authentic. Venus being as close to naked, being, showing more skin than typical, kind of is the expression of saying like, I love being authentic. And I think people really see Venus and Aries as the most authentic people. People feel like they know them. They feel more natural towards them versus other placements like Venus and Leo, Venus and Scorpio. Certain placements, those Venuses feel kind of like out of reach, like they're out of my class or whatever. So Venus and Aries, it's not that it's casual, but it's accessible to people. People really just relate to that person as if they know them. And that's one of the beautiful things about a Venus and Aries profile.